Oh, wow, Matt. Oh, my goodness. So all this time you guys couldn't hear me. Oh no. Okay, well let's just start fresh then. We're going to start fresh right now. Welcome to Nurse Guidance. We're just kind of going through in this edition. We're going to go through different places throughout the United States that are offering sign-on bonus, relocation, retention, education bonuses, and we're using an interactive map to do that. So I want to thank Matt. Here, 13 minutes in, Matt lets me know. Actually, I'm sure he let me know earlier than this, but I'm just now finding out now. So anyway, sorry about that, guys. Um, so on this map here, we've created, it's an interactive map. On this map, we're taking different parts of the United States and allowing you to see them really on a map. Because a lot of times when you're looking at a job board or you're looking at an advertisement, you're just able to see that facilities, generally their name and the name of the city. But if you're not very intimately familiar with that area, you may need to have a map to see where it's at on the map. So let's kind of zoom in on a couple of areas. I want to give a special shout out to my client in Alamogordo, New Mexico, Gerald Champion. I'm going to zoom in there, just kind of give example of how you can kind of show what the landscape looks like in a certain area, and you can kind of do some comparisons. Now, keep in mind, if you're trying to recruit nationally, you're going to need to be competitive on a national basis. But it is also good to know how you compare to your local area. Okay, so let's zoom in here, and let's say we want to take just a deep dive on the state of New Mexico and see what's going on there. We see a handful of facilities up in Santa Fe, Albuquerque. Then we see in Alamogordo, of course, Gerald Champion, and then we've got some down here in Las Cruces, and then down just on the other side of the border in El Paso, Texas. So there's quite a few things. Now you'll notice that some are gray, some are green, some are blue, and some are red. Now let me tell you what those colors mean. The blue means that it's above market. They're actually offering between incentives, they're offering higher than the national average. The national average is about $8,500 for all incentives, all in. That includes sign-on bonus, relocation, education, all that, as stated in the job postings. Now that's the median or the most popular number. I think it's about a couple of hundred facilities in the United States out of the thousand that we actually looked at 1,020 facilities, 1,026, and out of those, a couple of hundred of them picked 10,000 as the number. But a lot of them are going to range around somewhere between 7,500 to 10,000. That's kind of the that's kind of the national average range. Anything above that is considered blue on this chart. Anything below, let's say below 7 or 8,000, that's going to be a red. So red is going to be below the national average. Green is right within that national average between the median and the average numbers, and then the blue is well above. Gray, we just don't know what it is because they said they had a sign on bonus in the ad, but they didn't specify how much the sign on bonus was. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's look at this one here. This one here, this is in Alamogordo, New Mexico. I'm able to kind of zoom in on that too. I can zoom in if I want. And by the way, this works on any device. It works on a mobile phone, it works on a tablet, whatever you got. Okay, so I zoom in here. It helps me to see that there's 15,000 sign-on bonuses. We pulled the information on April the 16th. The name of the facility. That's the actual job it's for. Now that has since changed. Really, more of the need is med surge, and this is dynamic, folks. This stuff changes all the time. Med surge and labor and delivery or maternal child. Those are the two that this particular facility is recruiting for. And that's why it's important to note when it was put out there versus today's current date, because in a couple of weeks a lot of things can change. Incentives are being offered, of course, 15,000 is the total. Not currently offering a retention bonus, but they are offering relocation assistance. A lot of these facilities may have apartments, sometimes they're able to subsidize. So as you first move in, you're able to kind of really get a lay of the land of the area, examine the area for a month or two to make sure you find the right type of neighborhood for you and your family to live in. And a lot of facilities, we're noticing somewhere about three quarters of facilities are now mentioning what is their starting pay. Now, the pay, of course, ranges on education and experience. At this facility, they're saying it's starting at 25.95 an hour, but it can range all the way up to in the 40s, depending on the level of experience of the person. And you're going to find that is somewhat done throughout the United States. It is based a lot of times on a scale, education and experience. Of course, the ones that have more experience, more education, get a higher pay. Same way with the sign-on bonus. This sign-on bonus of 15 is the max. They go as low as 5,000, so it could be anywhere from 5,000 to 15,000 in terms of the bonus, depending on the experience, depending on the department it's needed in, that sort of thing. You'll also notice in each one of these, we do have a place where a person could click on this and go to the link. Some of these links will still be live by the time you click on them. Some of them will not be live. It just really just depends on how soon or how recent the posting is. We've just used one source for all of them just to avoid duplication. We may change sources. At this time, we're using Indeed because they have a pretty good job inventory right now. But we're looking at other job boards as well, such as the ZipRecruiter or Google Jobs. There's quite a few others out there as well. Let's kind of look at a couple of other areas, and I'm going to look at. Okay, so Lillian Flores, she asked a question. She got on late. Is the map available to anyone? So what we're doing with the map? That's a great question. We're offering this to registered nurses without charge, without obligation. We're going to supply a sign up at the end of this broadcast where nurses can jump on and access this. Now, for employers, we have a different program for employers who are looking for nurses. If they want to be informed, also have access to the spreadsheet, get live links and all that. We're doing a separate one for employers. It's free for nurses, employers are paid. So hopefully that answers your question. Um, are you able to hear me now? Can someone can someone hit me up on the phone? Let me know that just I want to make sure that everyone's able to hear me. Hopefully you are. Okay, so let's move on to a different area here. We started pulling up quite a few things in the Northeast recently, so I thought I would go there. Know that they've just really been hit hard by the COVID. So I wanted to kind of zoom in here and just show you what opportunities are out there on the other side of it. Because I know there's been lots of volunteers who've offered their services to come out there and help, and so we just wanted to make sure that you guys were able to see what's out there. So as we zoom in a little bit more, you see there's lots of places offering it. They're all over the map, really. We've got some that are gray. We've got some that are green, which means the green is right in with national average. We see lots of blues actually, which are above the national average, and we see also quite a few reds. Now we do have an accompanying spreadsheet that is available. We have a version of it available for the nurses, and of course we have a live and updated one for the employers. That's a paid one. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So as we look at this, you see we've got this area here is more so in Pennsylvania. Here's an example here. There's a $4,000 behavioral health. Now we know that behavioral health generally are not able to pay as much as some of the sign-on bonuses that as the hospitals for other departments. Let's say like for an OR or an ER nurse. So even though it's below the national average, it may actually be competitive by specialty. That is one thing that is kind of a thing you want to look at. Look at the whole package. If you're a nurse looking for a job, don't just get too stuck on one number. There may be some other things behind it. There's just another example here. You notice when I'm clicking on these, a lot of times they're when they're below mark. It's rehab centers. It's a lot of times it's behavioral health, those sort of things. But if I'm clicking on the blues, you'll also start to notice, wow, wait a second, I wasn't expecting this. Danville, Pennsylvania, offering a $10,000 I'm sorry, $13,000 sign-on bonus. Let's see, 8,000 sign-on bonus, 5,000 education for a new grad nurse. That's wow, that's high. Okay, so you can see how looking at this can really help you to pinpoint certain things. This is a usually high one. We can see why. This is a very in-demand specialty right now. This is the ICU nurses. The ICU nurses in Pennsylvania at Berwick Hospital Center, they're offering 25,000 sign-on bonus. Wow, that's a lot. The top in the nation right now is 35,000. That's the absolute top. But there's very few facilities that offer 35,000. The ones generally on the next tier are going to be at 25,000. So we see we got some high ones, some blues, we got some greens, we've got some reds. Another thing, too, nurses, when you're looking at these facilities, you're looking on sign-on bonuses. I would suggest, highly recommend, to also look at comparison of housing because it can definitely eat into that sign-on bonus and relocation money depending on the housing. So you may see an area that has a little bit lower sign-on bonus, but it has a great housing setup where you can get a great amount of square footage in a nice neighborhood at a much lower price point than an area that may have a higher sign-on bonus. So look at that and play that into your your analysis when you're looking at different numbers. Let's go to another part of the United States. And again, any of you who are online, feel free and pipe in with areas you'd like me to kind of look at for you. But I'm going to kind of zoom in here on the Chicago area for a bit. Now you see in Chicago area, if you're recruiting locally, this is a prime example. If you're recruiting locally in Chicago area, you notice there's lots of reds. Here's a $1,500. Now that's dialysis nurse. We've got another 2,000 one here, 1,000 one here, 25 here, 3,000 here. So you see that a lot of these are these long-term acute care specialty type places that are offering the lower sign-on bonuses. And we do have some that are offering more. So here's a critical care nurse position, 15,000. Out of that 15,000, all of it's sign-on bonus. I see a green in here. Let me get a little closer to this green one here. Okay, so it's Weiss Memorial Hospital looking for surgery nurses. Apparently, they're doing some surgeries out there. Boy, I tell you, that's one thing that's really hit a lot of places is that the surgeries, the elective surgeries, have gone down, and they're only doing these emergent surgeries with high amounts of pain, cancer patients, things of that nature. But here we are. We've got a facility that just marked something up. This is recent, folks. This is from April 28th. So they just posted that thing. So that's that's actually some good news. That shows us that there are some areas in the United States that are either currently ramping up their surgeries or planning to ramp up surgeries, and that must include elective surgeries. So that's good because you as nurses, you know this. A lot of these hospitals, they are not actually doing the elective surgeries in a lot of places, and all the nurses are being pulled over to care for the COVID patients in the ICU and just to help support that, which is good, which we appreciate that. Here's another area. Here's one in Colorado. Lots of great places there in Colorado. I love Vail Health. That's one of my clients there in Colorado. And we're not going to focus too much on that because right now there's not a lot of elective surgeries going on. In fact, there's really no elective surgeries going on. Hopefully that will change very soon, and we'll be able to kind of talk more about what's going on over in that area. But look what's going on the West Coast. We've got quite a few places in the West Coast, and interestingly enough, I was kind of surprised about this. There's quite a few places in LA area. Now, some of them are outside the LA proper, of course, but they're offering above average bonuses. Quite a few here. So I'm clicking here. We've got Dignity Health at Northridge over in Northridge, California. We've got West Hills. These guys are offering $15,000 to $20,000 sign-on bonuses, and it's no secret that California is the highest paid place for RNs. Now the caveat to that is they make more money there, but they also spend more money there because it's really one of the most expensive places to live. Um, Okay, so Lydia has a good question. She says, "Are you in analytics only, or are you on the front lines confirming all of your data?" Well, to answer your question, um, am I calling up the facility to make sure that what they do on Indeed is correct? No, I'm not. However, I would say that in most cases, it's very accurate information. Now, there may be some details left out, or if we're looking at a job that's older, like for example, this particular job was pulled on March 1st. There is a very high probability that some of this information may not be 100% accurate now. It may have changed since March 31st, but it does give us an idea of what the market has been offering in that area very recently. So, in some cases, we're looking at this as a tool to help us know what the overall market is or has been recently. If you're looking for the absolute most accurate data, I would say to first maybe go to a job board, or secondarily, if you already know the facility, go to the facility's actual job posting, see what that posted there. Now, I will say this: some facilities still use the old way of posting. So they will post the old job description, it must be able to lift more than 40 pounds, must have this, that, and other. And they don't even talk about benefits. They don't even talk about the amount of the sign on bonus in the ad. So just because it doesn't say it in the ad doesn't mean they don't have it, because they may have actually spent the money to go on, let's say, Indeed or ZipRecruiter or some other place and actually put what the sign on bonus is, put the benefits and all that. So I wish there was a better answer to your question, Leah, but that's what it is. I would say if it's something that's been posted in the past couple of days, I think you can pretty much count on the data being highly accurate. Now, if you're looking at something that was posted, a month ago or 2 months ago or 3 months ago, then that's where you're looking into areas where the information may not be as accurate. Now, we have been noticing during COVID is that after people apply, it's a little bit longer of a wait time to hear back from the recruiters. So just know that going in, that it may be that they're still interested in your qualifications, still interested in your application, but it could be just a little bit of a lag because of the COVID, because a lot of the recruiters who weren't used to working from home, they didn't have the facilities for it, have just now been able to work from home. So just keep that in mind. Also, your hiring managers who are hiring for these jobs, they're taking a little bit longer to respond because they're so busy working on COVID cases, helping their staff, or perhaps preparing for more COVID cases. So that's also another thing to take into consideration. So I am going to leave a link for all of this, so you guys can go to our website. You'll be able to look at this momentarily. Take a look at it. I'd love to hear your feedback about more stuff. Now, let me quickly just show you on our spreadsheet. I want to show you this. We got a spreadsheet here that shows us where the new grad places are. So I want to quickly do that before we close out. If you are a new grad, I want to show you some of the places we've got, and we're going to make this available. This should be available on our website as early as tomorrow. But I at least want to give you somewhat of a foreglimpse as to what we have going on here. So I'm just going to kind of go through here. One of the places that I want to mention first is in Gerald Champion. There is a great need for med-surg nurses. So if you are a med-surg nurse and you're looking at possibly moving over to the great state of New Mexico, beautiful area, been there several times. I know the people there, great folks there. Take them in consideration. There is sign-on bonus money available as well. So take a look at that. And in terms of other places, we've got Texas, we've got Palestine, Texas, we've got San Angelo, Texas, at Rivercrest Hospital. I see Health. Some of these have sign-on bonuses. Centura Health over in Denver. I see Centura Health over in Colorado Springs. We've got a rehabilitation center in Sandalwood. It's in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Excuse me. We've got Johnstown, Colorado. We've got Delta, Colorado. Phoenix, Arizona. We've got Oklahoma City. We've got Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, Opelousas, Louisiana. That's actually where my dad was born. Opelousas, Louisiana. They're offering at Opelousas General Health, and looks like they have a sign-on bonus. Now, you do need to double check though. Sometimes they're offering a sign-on bonus only for experienced nurses. So you do have to check with each facility to see how accurate that information is for you personally. I didn't delve down that far, but we know that, for instance, this particular place offers a sign-on bonus of 7,500 or into incentives of 7,500, and they're also accepting new grads or have something about new grad page, and all of that is sign-on bonus actually. Okay, another places rather, St. Louis and Hannibal, Missouri. Also Dothan, Alabama. We've got Opelika, Alabama. Hope I'm saying that right. Winona, Mississippi, Meridian, Mississippi. We got Montana's on the list. Montana and Nebraska, and we also see a few places in Colorado, California, which we see Los Angeles. We see Bakersfield and Oroville. We also see Washington, Auburn, Puyallup. We see Orlando, Florida, Panama City, Florida. We've got Summers, New York, the Bronx, New York, Middletown, New York, Long Beach, Philmont, Oswego. Hope I'm saying all that right. Star Lake. And then we've also got Virginia. Virginia has some places: Chesapeake and Norfolk, Virginia, Williamsburg, Virginia, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We've got Pennsylvania. Oh, you know what? Let me zoom in because I know people in the past said it's hard for them to read. We've got Pennsylvania, Oregon, Georgia. We got Atlanta, Macon, and Savannah, Georgia on the list. In South Carolina, we got West Columbia, Myrtle Beach, Florence, Cheverly, Maryland, Cumberland, Maryland, which we know is the D.C. area. We've got Wilmington, Delaware, Paterson, New Jersey, Lincoln Park, New Jersey. We got Rhode Island on the list. It's 29 states total for sign-on bonuses, but the list is growing. And we're not saying this is brand new. We're just starting the research. We don't know how long that they've been offering it in these areas, where they're offering jobs to new grads. But I know by request, many of you have said, can you give us more information for new grads? There's South Portland, Maine. Maine, we know, is a beautiful area too. There's Augusta, Maine, Manchester, New Hampshire, Webster, Massachusetts. We've got Fort Wayne, Crown Point, Indiana. We've got Warsaw, Indianapolis. We've got Anderson, Indiana. We got Jasper. Quite a few folks in Indiana are recruiting for new grads, apparently. We've got Maryville, Illinois, Idaho Falls, Idaho. So that's wonderful. Clinton, Iowa. So we got Iowa in the mix. Sioux City, Iowa. Quixote, Iowa. Clarion, Donaldson, Cedar Rapids. We've got Troy, Michigan. We have Minnesota's in the mix. Tennessee and Cleveland, Tennessee. Didn't even know there was a Cleveland, Tennessee. Toledo, Ohio. We've got, of course, Cincinnati, Ohio. Wisconsin. We have Waterford, Wisconsin. West Orange, New Jersey. And of course, I mentioned Alamogordo earlier, Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Puyallup, Washington. So we've got quite a few different states that are open up. So we're going to have this list available, our new grad list, in addition to the sign-on bonus and incentive list for you guys to take a look at. So hopefully that was helpful to you. Let me know your feedback in the comments, what you're thinking. If this information was actually beneficial or helpful to you. This is for you, nurses. This is why we're doing this research, is for you first and foremost. So let us know what you're thinking in the comments. Please like this and share it with others so we can spread the word for experienced nurses in terms of incentives, as well as for new grad nurses, job offerings, as well as incentives for them. So anyway, thanks for your time. Hope to talk to all of you real soon. We'll be back real soon with more updates, but keep fighting the good fight. We appreciate all the work you're doing, and have a great rest of the day.